It's Tuesday, the 4th of August. This is the last sitting week of this Parliament, and it's likely to be mostly done under urgency. Urgency will be taken this afternoon. But before that, there will be questions to ministers. Judith Collins to the Prime Minister about policies and commitments. Deborah Russell to the Minister of Finance about economic reports he's seen recently. Jerry Brownlee to the Minister of Housing about the border and quarantine systems. Paul Goldsmith to the Minister of Finance about the wage subsidy and the employment effects of it. Mark Patterson to the Minister for Regional Economic Development about the Provincial Growth Fund. Priyanka Radhakrishnan to the Minister of Social Development about supporting communities coming out of COVID. Shane Retty to the Minister of Health about travellers who've been through New Zealand and have COVID. Paul Eagle to the Associate Minister of Housing about improving the quality of state housing. Todd McLeay to the Minister of Tourism about the balance in funding between tourism operators and outbound tourism people. Michael Woodhouse to the Minister for Regional Development, again about the Provincial Growth Fund. Willow Jean Prime to the Associate Minister of Health about supporting Maori health and wellbeing. And David Seymour to the Prime Minister about her achievements. We'll then go on to the Appropriations Estimates Bill, which is the second and third reading of the budget, the third reading of the budget. It's a 3-hour debate, but it will be interrupted at 4:30 for the valedictory statements of Ian Lees-Galloway, Raymond Ho, Gareth Hughes, the Honourable Claire Curran and the Honourable Ruth Dyson. So that will run for about an hour and a half, possibly a bit into the dinner break, and then back to the appropriation bill. Urgency will be taken for all stages of the COVID Public Health Amendment Bill. That is the charging regime for those who are in managed isolation. Then the further management measures COVID bill, which has a whole pile of administrative things in it, like timeliness for financial reporting, timing for tax legislation, just to help people through the effects of COVID. Then the final stage is a second reading committee and third reading of the Residential Tenancies Amendment Bill, the Fuel Industry Bill in the name of Dr Megan Woods, the committee and third reading of the Public Health and Disability Amendment Bill, the first reading of the drug driving legislation, and the third reading of the vaping bill. Now, I think the general feel is that will run us through till Thursday morning, or possibly early into the afternoon. There will be questions on Wednesday and Thursday, so I'll see you at 2 o'clock tomorrow for a progress report.